So I thought I'd come on here and tell you guys a story of a time that I was working at a nursing home, skilled nursing facility in Maine. And there was a psych patient there. Her name was Vicky. I feel like it's fine to say her name because it's no last name or anything. It could be any nursing home anywhere in Maine. But she was a psych patient and she escaped the facility one time, and I had to literally run after her. And then there was another time where she totally went off on one of my female coworkers. And let's just say she was pretty nuts. Politically incorrect, I guess, to say that, but that was the case. But sometimes when you're working as a nursing assistant or a nurse or maybe a doctor or whatever at these places, crazy things happen and you have to just try to make the best of it and sometimes poke fun at it. And some of the best times that I've had in my life really have come from working at these skilled nursing centers as a nursing assistant. So anyways, there was this patient and her name was Vicky. So I was often working 3 to 11 shift. Vicky was started wandering down the hall and was giving the nurse trouble, I believe. And she had these big nails and she kind of sort of had a way of waddling down the hallway. Not like she was big, but it was just kind of her gait, the way she walked. And definitely quite feisty. And she got so mad about something. I have no idea what it was. Obviously, I guess it wasn't important. I probably would have remembered. But she got really mad. So there was a nurse's station that was kind of centered between 3 wings of the nursing facility that I worked at. There were one wing this way, the other wing this way, and then another one that went this way, and the nurse's station was right there. So some of us were sitting at the nurse's station kind of doing our charting, and I think it was getting to be later in the evening through our shift, and Vicky comes over to the nurse's station, and one of my female coworkers is charting sitting down, and there's kind of a high countertop thing that if you were standing on the other side of the nurse's station, you kind of lean on it. And the counter went all around the nurse's station. So Vicky comes right up to that counter. She reaches over and she grabs my female coworker. She had big frizzy hair, grabbed her by the hair and started yanking her over the nurse's station. And then, I will say she was more of an elderly psych patient, so she wasn't able to physically lift her body too much, but she got her up off that chair that she was sitting in, and I think she was fine. I don't think she had any injuries, but that's an instance that I never forgot. That was one little thing. And of course, now I'm 40, so as time goes on, there's probably so many more interesting details to that story and many others that I have, but it's just the memories start fading. But I definitely remember at least that part of the story. And there was another time where Vicky, on a bright, sunny summer day, I must have been working. I was either working day shift or I had just come on to my 3 to 11 shift, so that still would have been daytime. And all I remember is Vicky somehow managed to wiggle her way through either the front door or maybe one of the side entrances. And not supposed to, but somehow it happened. And this particular nursing facility was just behind a fairly busy 2-lane road in town. But it was in the middle of town, so there definitely were cars constantly going back and forth. And Vicky just literally starts running through the parking lot, down the shortest driveway, like directly towards traffic, and I'm in my scrubs, and I'm like running down and chasing after this crazy psych patient. I can only imagine what the drivers were thinking as they were driving by, because they're like seeing all of this go down. And I was like, Vicky, we have to go back to the building. You can't be out here. Like, this is gonna be dangerous. You get hit by a car. I was just trying to just do whatever I could to coax her, and she just wasn't having it. And then as I got close to her, I was gonna try to like gently try to grab her arm to like coax her to come with me back to the building. And again, with her long nail, she starts trying to claw at me, and she might have even like, I think she even scratched my arm and possibly drew a little blood. And the most embarrassing thing, I did have my phone with me, but I was totally blanking out on the phone number of my own building that I was working in. But thank God, I think either one of my coworkers must have seen what was happening through one of the windows, or I may have called a relative to like look up the phone number for the facility that I was working at. But shortly after, other people were able to come to the rescue, and somehow all of us were able to get her inside. But I'll always remember Vicky, and she was crazy, and I feel like, again, I'm blanking out on the memories, but I feel like she did have some sides to her that were likable too. Yeah, she basically, because we were a skilled nursing center, and she came from the state mental hospital, I believe, or like a mental ward. And the particular nursing facility that I was working at, we kind of were like the low bar type place that kind of took rejects that other people didn't want. So she wasn't the only person like that we had. I'm just remembering now that we had some more that were actually pretty freaky. But yeah, that was like one of the funnest places I ever worked. So we even had a smoke shack off in the back parking lot, and I know smoking's unhealthy, but it seems to go hand in hand with healthcare, which is crazy, but it does. And I was like in my early 20s at the time, and I had the bright idea of starting to like pick up smoking, and so I ended up smoking cigarettes for like 3 years, and eventually I quit. But I did absolutely love smoking, and we had that smoke shack in the parking lot, and me and my coworkers, the other nursing assistants, the nurses, or whoever smoked, any chance that we got to have like a smoke break, we would all go out there, and I would just hear some of the funniest stories. One of my coworkers would do impressions of some of the residents, and they just had us like practically on the floor laughing. But we were all, I think for the most part, all of us were really hard workers, and we cared about the residents. And the smoke shack was like our little place to sort of debrief and unwind, and then just go back in and power through it, and get ready to handle whatever was coming at us next. So anyways, yeah, just wanted to share a couple little stories about Vicky, the psych patient. All right, well anyways, hope you guys have a good night.